Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Kayla and I do videos on books and bunnies. So today's book review is going to be on The List by, I am sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Siobhan Vivian. So I will say this was not my favorite book, but I'll get into that and tell you guys why. Another thing I want to say is these are my personal opinions of the books. This is how I felt while reading the books, after reading the books, and this reflects nothing on the author. The authors are always good. They always work their hardest to write the best books they can, and I appreciate that because I love reading books, regardless of if I enjoyed them or not. So make sure you check out the book even if I don't like it. But let's get on to the video. I did start this book and it took me about a week to finish it because I didn't like it as much. Toward the end I had to listen to an audiobook on it because I did start getting bored and not wanting to read it anymore, and I wanted to kind of force myself to continue reading it, and so that's why I read the audiobook. But I definitely will give this book a 2 out of 5 stars. I appreciate what the author was trying to do with the... First, let me tell you guys what it was about. So, each year at the school, there is something called The List that comes out right on homecoming week. So this list lists the prettiest and the ugliest girls of each grade. So one girl is the prettiest and one girl is the ugliest in each grade. And this book kind of goes through each of these girls' perspectives about how they interpret the list, how others are looking at them, and like how they feel about it and stuff like that. So I appreciate how the author was trying to take all these girls, even the prettiest, and showing like how just because something seems one way does not mean it is entirely that way. So I do appreciate that, how the author does that. There was one girl who had an eating disorder and they named her the prettiest because of the weight she lost over a summer, and there was another girl who didn't want to be the same as everyone else, so she was named the ugliest, and so she took a whole week to not bathe, not shower, not wash her clothes, not changing into different clothes, to prove to the kids, like, you want the ugliest, this is what you'll get for the ugliest. There was another girl who was new that year and had gotten a boyfriend over the summer, and she didn't know how her boyfriend was going to react to this list. There was another girl who had no idea what the list was because her sister didn't care about things like this, and she was labeled prettiest out of the grade, and the list even said, like, at least you got the better genes compared to your sister, so like it was dissing her sister, and she thought that she should be celebrated by this even from her sister, even though it dissed her. So each girl has their own little thing behind the list, and this new principal that they have even wants to get rid of this list and is like disgusted by it. And so I appreciate how the author was doing that, but the way it was interpreted, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite thing about the book, and I will say I usually do really like hearing points of views from different characters, but I felt like with the number, there were 8 girls altogether, and with that number of girls, the different views kind of got jumbled up, and I got very confused at points because the days like flipped back and forth between different times, and it just was very confusing for me to follow. It might have just been me, but I would have liked it written in a different way probably. I think it would make a great high school movie if anyone wanted to make it into a movie, because it does have a good moral in the end. Not like the way that it ended. I like the way it was going with the ending, but it felt like the ending was cut off. It didn't finish what it was kind of trying to say. Like, I feel like the author could have written more, or even did a sequel to this. I don't believe there is a sequel to this, but I definitely feel like there could have been, or at least a better ending to the book, because it did cut off abruptly to me. I will say I didn't really have a favorite character. there was a lot of the girls that I liked how I had friends that kind of related to them, or like you felt personally connected to them while reading the books. So I liked that aspect of it, but I will say none of the characters really jumped out to me as my favorite. Each had their own personal unique thing about them that I liked. And I liked how some of them grew even through the book, like they realized things compared to the beginning of the book when they were a certain personality and they grew through this book to become better or even worse, which I thought was interesting, how it kind of showed me that the character doesn't always have to become better. The character can actually digress in their personality. But that was very interesting to me how they did that. I will say I personally don't recommend reading this book. It wasn't my favorite. It was a slow book to get through. Didn't have really any like turns that I wasn't really expecting until the end. Definitely will say I thought there was going to be more of a mystery solving into this, because they were kind of trying to figure out who wrote the list in the beginning, but then they kind of all just gave up and didn't care. And so I did think there would be more of a mystery solving to this, but I was disappointed by that. I like I said, don't recommend this book. But I will say, if you are the kind of person who likes kind of like different, like jumps to different points of views and can like follow that and stuff, and even enjoys stories told by different perspectives and like different characters and stuff, you might like this, so maybe check it out. But if you do start to get bored by it, either don't finish it because you're not going to enjoy it, or listen to an audiobook. That might help, especially keep on track with the way perspectives are jumping. But that's about all I have to say for this book, because it was not my favorite and I didn't really pay much attention to it as I usually would for books. But comment down below if you have read it and if you enjoyed it, because I would love to know why some people enjoy the book, or even if you were planning on reading it, why you were planning on reading it, like what made you want to read this book and like pick up this book. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notification button if you want to see more videos on book reviews, videos in general, or even if you are interested in watching bunny videos. Also, please comment down below what other book videos you guys would like to see, whether it be different reviews, to be read lists, or just reading tips. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.